Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. According to reports, Marino has agreed personal terms with Arsenal and Arsenal are in contact with Real Sociedad as we speak. We'll be discussing that. What's the latest on Edin? What's the latest on Kivio? And a lot of more other transfer news, including interesting stories on Obi Martin. This is the last time we're going to be talking about Chido Obi Martin. I have interesting things to say about him, so let's get straight into it. Let's start with Mikel Merino. So this is the latest news. Mikel Marino and Arsenal have reached a contractual agreement on a 4-year contract. So, according to reports, Marino and Arsenal have agreed on a contract. So that is first thing you always need to do. You have to discuss the player first, personal terms. Do they want to join your team? Are they interested in moving to England, and playing for Arteta and the role that he's going to have in the team, and whatever. You have to discuss all that. And if the player is comfortable to join your team, then after that, you can proceed to negotiating with the team that he is leaving. There's absolutely no need of you going, to talk to the team first, and then you agree a move, and then the player doesn't want to join you. That is actually what it used to be back in the day. Sometimes with some transfers, you discuss the team and the team accepts your bid, and then the player is like, no, I actually don't want to go to QPR, or I don't want to go to Bolton, or I don't want to go to Arsenal, I don't want to go to Liverpool. That is how it used to be. So you have to agree personal terms first. You have to know whether the player is accepting your wage structure and all that, and then you proceed to discuss with the team. Now, that is what we are doing right now. But first, let's talk about the other teams that want Merino. So according to Fabrizio Romano, Atletico Madrid and Barcelona are still thinking of Mikel Merino, but both clubs feel that Merino is giving total priority to Arsenal. Merino is in the list of targets for Arsenal and very high on the list. At the moment, there's been no direct contact with Real Sociedad, no concrete negotiations, but it could happen soon because Arsenal are having a positive exchange on the player side. So we have a further update after that, by the way. The player is tempted by the Premier League, tempted by Arsenal, and very tempted by Mikel Arteta, who is considered the perfect coach for him by people close to the player. These are things I absolutely love to read, man. Like recently with Calafiori, the fact that he said he's been watching Arsenal games, he was at Arsenal against Crystal Palace earlier this year, and he's been supporting Arsenal and all that. That is what you want to hear. And Marino, them saying that Marino is a perfect manager for Marino and it fit well at Arsenal, and Barcelona and Atletico Madrid are not even going to approach him that much because they know that he's giving priority to Arsenal. That is absolutely fantastic. So that makes me think we definitely already talked to him before. We were told like 2-3 months ago that Arteta did talk to Marino. I think just maybe a month before the Euros started, we were told that we had discussions with him. It looks like those discussions actually went well, and the player already decided that after the Euros, I'm going to join Arsenal. Obviously, you would have expected other teams to come in for him, the Spanish teams, but looks like he's giving priority to Arsenal, which makes me so happy. If a player wants to join Arsenal, that makes everything exciting. Arteta and Edu absolutely love that, I'm sure. And a player makes it easy for them and is like, yeah, I want to join you, forget about any other team, even if Man City come in for him, even if Madrid come in for him, even if Juventus come in for me, it doesn't matter. I am going to join Arsenal. That is what you want to hear, and that is what Arteta do, I'm sure, absolutely love to hear. And in terms of convincing players, they do an incredible job. Every player that I hear has talked to Arteta, they always say, yeah, I decided after one call that I wanted to join Arsenal. Insane. Now, this is the update that you got today from Team News and Tricks. It says Arsenal are in negotiations with Real Sociedad regarding Mikel Merino to get the best deal possible. So it looks like we started talking to Sociedad, and it's viewed as an easy deal to do by the club. Mikel Arteta personally pushed strongly for the move and was insistent that Marino was the player to bring in. Perfect. This sounds so perfect, man. Like, easy deal to do. We all love those ones, right? Now, not like in the back in the day, like you'd get Radisson was an easy deal to do because he's only going to cost you 2-3 million, and there's not too many teams that wanted him. But a quality player who's just won the Euros, a player who's going to improve your team, and he wants to join your team, and is going to cost a bit of money, but it's still an easy deal to do. It's not easy because of how much it's going to cost, all that. No, it's an easy deal to do because he wants to join Arsenal. Arteta wants him at Arsenal. They've spoken before. Edu is happy with the deal going through as well. The player knows his role in the team. He's going to improve our midfield. That is why it's an easy deal, because of all of those reasons. And maybe you can throw in a bit of the money as well, 35 million euros. I think that is a very good price. Midfielders nowadays are going for a lot of money. Just in Joan Neves, here we go to to PSG. It's costing them 70 million euros. Very young age, but 70 million euros. That is a lot of money. Speaking of age, we were told that Merino, 28 years of age, that is a kind of age we're also trying to get some players, because most of our players are very young. If you look at Saka and Martinelli and Calafiori joining right now at 22, most of our players are young. The ones who are closer to 30 are the likes of Trossard and Ryan, those guys 27, 28. And then you have Jorginho, who's over 30 with Partey. The time we signed Jorginho and Trossard, they're already experienced and they'd already, been at the top level for many, many years, approaching their 30s. I think Jorginho's already 30. And then we were told Arteta wants to add a bit more experience, just like the Jorginho and Trossard signings, because those two particular signings worked for us. Trossard joined us. He hit like 11 assists within 4 months. And then the very next season, he scored a bunch of goals for us last season. Jorginho, I think, has had a good impact to the point where, considering he joined from Chelsea, a lot of Arsenal fans don't like the players joining from Chelsea. Jorginho is an exception. Everyone was saying, Jorginho, give him a new contract. He's done well for us. Give him a new contract. And he was given a new contract because he's playing a key role in the team. So you want someone of that similar age. Let's get another one, a third and fourth player around that age who can bring in experience, who can bring in that winning mentality. Just come from winning the Euros with Spain. So he definitely brings something to this Arsenal team. So I cannot wait for him to get started at Arsenal. He hasn't been signed yet, but I'm starting to feel very confident that this deal is going to go through. The Spanish and English players and the French players who are on holiday, they're going to come back, I think, by Saturday, most of them. So Merino, we're expecting this deal hopefully to happen as soon as Arsenal come back from the USA. Let's see how it goes. But that's the latest on Mikel Merino, looking likely to be our next signing after Calafiori. Excited by this one. We have to wait and see whether we are also going to get Fabian Ruiz, because it's also a good deal to do in terms of obligation to buy later on. That could be a good deal for us, and that could tempt Arsenal. So we'll see if that one will go through. Or we'll switch our focus to striker or winger. Let's wait and see. Now, Edin Nketiah is also linked to the move away, and according to David Ornstein, Marseille have made an improved bid for Edin Nketiah from Arsenal. New bid is nearing 20 million euros, similar to previous but closer to formula Arsenal want. Likely to be deemed unrealistic, but talks ongoing, plus 5-year contract agreed. So Edin Nketiah has agreed to move to Marseille. Many of us thought that you'd maybe want to stay in England and stuff, but no, he's happy to go to Marseille. But 20 million euros. No, 20 million euros. That's like, I don't know, 16, 15 million pounds. That is too little. Come on, man. It doesn't matter what you think about Edin Nketiah. 20 million euros. That's little money, because it's not like he scored 1 or 2 goals in his whole career. No, he has scored some goals during his Arsenal career, some big goals as part of that as well. So, and he's played in the Premier League since like 2017. So he has that Premier League experience. He's still young. He can score goals as well. He's not our cup of tea. He's not the answer for where we are trying to go. But if he leaves Arsenal, we're not going to get 20 million euros. That is too little. If Man United were to sell Martial today, if he was not like at the end of his contract, they would sell him for like 30 million. That is a player who's not played a single game for the last 2 years or something crazy like that. Chelsea, they would be able to get, they're able to get 25 million for Hutchinson, who only played in the Championship for a season or something like that. They're able to get him, get that kind of money for him. Like, you'll see a player scoring 15 goals in one season, and then he's sold for 70 million. So Edin Nketiah, I don't think 20 million euros is the answer. Like, I think I would reject that immediately. 20 million euros is that is an insult. Like, if you're selling for 20 million euros, that would be an insult. If Edin Nketiah was the same Edin Nketiah right now, if he was playing for Chelsea would ask for like 40 million, and they wouldn't budge. They wouldn't budge at all. They wouldn't budge at all. They would ask for 40 million euros, because the player who I believe, if he goes to Marseille and starts games, he can score 15 goals for them plus in a Ligue 1 season very easily. So for 20 million euros, that one I would reject. I think that's an insult. I'm sure other teams would come in with their better offers than that. I've seen some people saying, yeah, take it and run. No, it doesn't work like that. You don't just take it and run because you don't like the player. You have to get a decent offer. For Smith Rowe, I'd say it as well. If you're not getting anything above 30 million, you don't sell him. I don't care if he has played one game the last 2 years. These are English players, young players. He's done something in the Premier League before. It's not like he's been on the bench and he's never made an appearance in the Premier League. Speaking of players who never made appearances in the Premier League, there's some teams who, like Aston Villa with Duran. Duran has not played a lot of games, but they're asking for like 40 million for Duran. Yeah, the backup striker at Aston Villa, they're asking for a lot of money for him, 40 to 50 million. I'm sure Edin has done more than what Duran has done in the league, in the Premier League, for sure. So I would not be selling him for that kind of money. I think that is a bit of an insult. For me, I would reject that. And then if it's not any, if it has to be 30 million pounds. That is like 35 million euros. So they'd have to add like 50 million to that. Then after that, you can talk on the structure. You don't have to pay the 35 million at once. It can be an obligation to buy next season. We can give you a further year to pay. It can be, paid in installments. Maybe you pay us 20 million first, the 20 million euros that you're offering us right now. Pay us that, and then you pay the 15 million next year. That is absolutely fine. But 20 million euros, nah. You know what would happen? They would take him for 20 million euros, and then next season he would go there and score 16 goals in the season, and then the next season they would sell him for 40 million. That is what would happen. So I'd not be doing that at all. I would keep him until they give us a decent offer. We're not in a rush to sell him. We can sell him tomorrow. We can sell him at the beginning of in the middle of August, even if it means we have to wait for the money until the last part of August. Absolutely fine, as long as we get a decent fee for him, and then he moves on. The player wants to move on. Arsenal want to move him on. You already know that there's little chance of him staying. So I'd not be accepting that money at all. Not at all. What is the latest on Smith Rowe? Another player who's about to leave Arsenal. We got decent money for him, though. According to HITC, Graham Bailey, Emile Smith Rowe made it clear to Arsenal that he wanted first team football as well. Smith Rowe is understood to still hold out hope of a call up to the England national team under a new manager leading into World Cup 2026. I mean, absolutely fair enough. Smith Rowe is one player that I want to absolutely go and smash it at Fulham. I want him to do so well there. No problem with Smith Rowe at all. He's one of those players that saved Arsenal. I'm going to talk about him when he's announced as a Fulham player. He basically saved Arsenal. So for me, I absolutely love him. But as a starter, as a first team player at Arsenal, he was never really going to start ahead of Odegaard, and he wasn't really ever going to start ahead of Declan Rice as well. So that becomes a major problem. If you wanted first team football, there's no way you could have gotten at Arsenal. The only thing maybe you'd have gotten, maybe you'd have been promises. You can make a few sub appearances. You will start some games when you do rotation. Maybe when you rotate the first 4 or 5 players, you're going to be part of that. When you make our first 2-3 subs, you're going to be part of that. That's the only thing that you can really promise him. But in terms of starting ahead of Rice and Odegaard, I can't think he's going to do that at all. But there's a time he smashed it at Arsenal. He got called up for England, and he's hoping to get back to that kind of level. Hopefully he does well at Fulham and gets back to that level. Let's wait and see what kind of maybe clauses added to the contract. So do you have a sell-on clause there? Do you have a buyback clause? Because in case he goes and does well, then Fulham selling for 70 million. We hope we can get some money from that. Or if you have a buyback clause, we have the first option to buy him back. I don't know what is going to be included in the deal. But Smith Rowe, one of the reasons he wanted to move on, they did say that there was a part of him that wanted to stay, but he knows that he's not going to get first team football. And you're getting £34 million. I think that is good money. And that is what we're supposed to be getting for Edin as well, around that 30 million as well. So let's see how it goes with Emile Smith Rowe. I'm sure he's going to be announced as a player there soon. I think you're getting 27 million plus like 7 million in add-ons. I think that is the deal. Jakub Kiwior as well. It has gone quiet. We've signed Calafiori, but Kiwior is still part of the team. He's wanted by a lot of Serie A clubs, but according to reports, talks regarding Jakub Kiwior's future at Arsenal to take place after the club returns from the USA. The Gunners return to England on Thursday, and then the Paul may get the green light for a transfer. So he could still move on. I don't mind if you end up keeping Kiwior and having 8 defenders there, 2 for each position. I don't mind it at all. But I'm sure he knows that in this Arsenal team right now, if Gabriel is not playing, he knows it's going to be Calafiori. Like, let's say we have Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba and Bernat as the first team. If Calafiori is not playing, it's going to be Timber coming on. If Gabriel is not playing, it's probably going to be Timber playing at centre back, or Calafiori moving to centre back and Timber coming on that left side. Maybe even Tomias could be ahead of him if he's fit. Maybe if you're trying to attack, Zinchenko would come in ahead of him. So he knows that in terms of the pecking order, he could be one player that makes just a few appearances here and there, just like what Holding was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, like just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I still think he can play a crucial role in the team. Those games that you need to defend, Kiwior could come in for you, and then 30, maybe I don't know, ahead of whoever is on the left side for a few games. It would be backup for Gabriel. For me, I was thinking have Zinchenko and Calafiori, have Gabriel and Kivio, have Saliba and Timber, have Ben White and Tomiyasu. And then when Tomiyasu is injured, Timber is also helping out Ben White. All that is absolutely fine, but I think he knows that he's not going to feature a lot, and I think he'd be happy to move on. So let's see how this one develops after Arsenal head back to the UK. Next up, Chido Obi Martin. Now, Chido Obi Martin has moved on. He has moved on, and he's moved on to Manchester United. According to Fabrizio Romano, Chido Obi Martin to Man United. To Man United. Here we go. Talented striker leaves Arsenal and has just accepted Man United proposal. Pathway key for Chido, who's turned down higher bids from Germany to sign for Man United. Project convinced 2007 born top talent to accept. Now, Fabrizio says the what do you say? The project convinced Chido Obi Martin. Now, I'm not going to say anything. I don't know what went down behind the scenes. I don't know if it's his parents who make the decisions. I don't know if it's him who said I want to move on from Arsenal. I don't know what the specific reasons are for him to move on. Because my problem is if they're saying he's going to go to Man United and Man United have a better pathway for youngsters and he's going to play, that is a line. That is how I always felt about Omari Hutchinson as well. I knew like Omari Hutchinson would never play for Chelsea, and I say that when he left us, and I just knew he was going to go there, and then they would sell him after a year, and that is exactly what happened. So in terms of Man United have a better pathway, that would be a lie, and we'll find out the truth in the next couple of years, because by the next couple of years he could be sold, and then that means Man United were only buying for the money, and him. What is the reason for him to going there? Well, according to reports, again, according to this, Arsenal offered 16-year-old Chido Obi Martin 15k a week in his professional contract. Manchester United gladly doubled those wages offered by Arsenal to secure the player's signature. So if you read that, it translates to they were giving him more money and he decided to move on. Now, I'm not going to say this is definitely true or definitely wrong. I don't know. But if it's because of the money, good luck to you. Move on. We don't want to keep you at Arsenal. If it's because of the money, good luck to you. Obviously, I can't say good luck to you in terms of hopefully Shane Van Netted. Hopefully not, obviously. It would turn out to be like a Van Persie. So if it's in terms of the money, that's not the character to have at Arsenal. Just let him go. If it's in terms of the pathway, if you believe Man United have a better pathway, fair enough. But personally, believe they're going to just use you for money like Chelsea did. You're going to stay there for a couple of years and they sell you. But in terms of pathway, I'm not going to, judge you and tell you why you're going there for pathway line. Nah. But in terms of Man United signing you as a player that is going to feature in their first team soon, I don't think that is going to happen. They've just signed Zagzi, they've just signed Hoyland, they're looking for other forward players as well. I don't know where it fits in. In fact, if you look at Man United and Arsenal right now, which team doesn't really have strikers? It is Arsenal more than Man United. So I don't know. I've also seen a stat where Man United teenagers played more than 1,000 minutes last season, and Arsenal teenagers only played like 14 minutes last season. Fair enough. So we're in a different, in terms of that, we're in a different kind of level with Man United right now. They finished 8th. We are competing with Man City. So how much time can we afford youngsters in those games last season at the end of the campaign? Man United could. And Garnacho was a good player for them last season, probably one of their best players. We didn't really have a player like that. I'm hoping this season we can see players like Nwaneri featuring, and let's see. But Chido Obi Martin, he's gone now. He's moved to Man United, and those were the reasons that were given. Do you think he moved on because of the money, or do you think he moved on because he feels like Man United have a better pathway? Speaking of Nwaneri, just the last one. Those around Arsenal believe this could well be Nwaneri's breakthrough season. He is seen as mature beyond his years, and Arteta sees potential in him. So for Nwaneri, really hoping to see a lot from him this season. He's been incredible so far in preseason. Hopefully that stay doesn't move on like the other players. I'm sure he's going to get opportunities this season, and I'm sure he's going to shine for us. Absolutely talented player. I've seen him playing on the right side as a number 10, as a number 8 just in these 2 preseason games, and he's looked absolutely incredible. So let's hope we see the same from Nwaneri in terms of development like Sak and those players. Hopefully he does shine for us. That is the latest in terms of the transfer news. Let me know what you make about all that. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.